D-backs and Padres. It's D-backs baseball, brought to you by Amstel X Life. We're inside Chase Field, the second of a four-game series with the Padres. Tonight, Zach Greinke versus left-hander Joey Lucchesi. Join us for D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthew, Bob Brenly along the way. Our series with San Diego continues. Every game against the National League West is big these days. The top four teams in this division, Bob, all separated by only 3.5 games.
Yeah, this is a very important stretch of the schedule. We talked about it coming off that 8-2 road trip that we were going to bump up against the Giants for 3 games. That didn't go so well, and now we got the Padres in town. They won the first game of the series last night, and you got the Rockies on the road after this homestand ends. So very important stretch of the schedule for the Diamondbacks.
They'll hand the baseball tonight to Zach Godley. He beat the Padres here at Chase Field back in April.
Yeah, it was really good in that ball game, looking to right the ship for Zach Godley. Went 5 1/3 in that game. 8 strikeouts, only 1 walk. Finding the strike zone has been an issue lately for Zach.
The second of a 4-game set, D-backs and Padres. First pitch is coming up on Fox Sports Arizona.
D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. This season, D-backs home runs score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box. By Amstel X Life, grab the 90-cal 2-carb beer with great taste today. By Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing, choose Chaz. By 1AZ Credit Union, let's bank together. And by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the card today.
Well, the walking wounded keep making their way back. Welcome back, Randall Delgado. Zach Godley gets the baseball to start tonight against the Padres. That's next on Fox Sports Arizona. July, hot outside, nice and cool indoors, 77 inside Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Redley, Kate Longworth with you. It's the second of a 4-game series. The Diamondbacks and the San Diego Padres, who even after last night's win have lost 13 of their last 17 games. D-backs will try and even the series tonight at a game apiece. Here's the San Diego starting lineup. It's presented by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Travis Jankowski will lead it off for the Padres out in left field. Carlos Asuaje at second base. Eric Hosmer down at first. Hunter Renfroe out in right field. Christian Villanueva getting the start at third base tonight. Manuel Margot out in center field. Freddie Galvis will be at shortstop. Austin Hedges with a homer in the ballgame last night. Once again doing the catching tonight for left-hander Joey Lucchesi.
Your Ram Truck starting pitcher for the D-backs is the right-hander Zach Godley. 17 starts, 9-6 and a 5.07 ERA. And coming off a rough outing against the Giants here on Sunday.
Yeah, there was really nothing pretty about that start against the Giants. Zach only went 4 innings through 89 pitches, giving up 9 hits and 7 runs. He also walked 5 Giants batters in that game. As I mentioned earlier, needs to find that strike zone more consistently with everything.
E.D. Marshall Jewelers has a look around the diamond at the D-backs defense tonight.
David Peralta in left field. A.J. Pollock in center. Steven Souza Jr. in right field. Boy, that sounds good. Chris Owings will start at third base today with Nick Ahmed at shortstop. Ketel Marte at second base. Paul Goldschmidt over at first. John Ryan Murphy doing the catching for right-hander Zach Godley.
Behind the plate tonight, calling the balls and strikes, will be Laz Diaz. Manny Gonzalez is our first base umpire. Jansen Visconti at second. And there's the crew chief, Jeff Nelson. He's at third. And before we get going, Bob, time for your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Well, for Zach Godley, first things first, and by that we mean get the leadoff man in an inning. This season, the league is hitting .360 against him. The leadoff hitters, the OPS is over 1,000. In his last start against the Giants, he did strike out the leadoff hitter, but each inning after that, he walked the leadoff man. He scored. A single scored, a double scored, and another walk scored.
D-backs 8 games over 500, percentage points behind the Dodgers for the NL West lead. The Rockies and Giants both 3.5 off the division lead. Padres in last, 10.5 back. And Travis Jankowski leads it off for San Diego. 277 and 1 home run. This would be a good lead man to keep off the bases. He can really run 14 steals this year, including a stolen base last night in the series opener. Jankowski 0 for 3 last night. He walked and scored a run. There's the curveball. Critical tonight that Zach land that pitch for strikes. Not all the time, but just enough to keep them honest. Ahead 0-2. Spiked a curveball in the dirt. Torrey would like to see Zach, Bobby was telling us today, get the hitters into swing mode, engage with fastballs, and then get them to chase that curveball.
That would be a good plan of attack against this Padres team. They don't walk very much. I think they're tied with the Marlins for dead last in the National League in drawing base on balls. So that could help Zach if he can just keep that ball in and around the strike zone.
Trying to change up there, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Swahe, a big night last night on deck. Fastball down and away, backhanded by Ahmed. Jankowski can fly, and they got him.
Well, that's a play where Nick Ahmed really had no option. Get to the ball, field it, make that exchange quickly, and throw all in one motion. Nice pick over at first base by Goldie. That is an extremely tough play with a fast runner, but Nick up to the task that time.
He so often makes it look so easy.
Which is why I was just shocked last night.
Yeah.
It's a routine 2-hopper up the middle of the field. Couldn't have been any easier, and Nick just clanked it off the end of the glove. That is a rarity.
That sort of helped pad what turned out to be a 3-run 6th inning for the Padres last night against Shelby Miller. 1-0 on Carlos Asuaje, 224 and 2 homers. Last night a pair of hits. He had a triple, had an RBI. Also walked twice and scored twice. Shift is on. That one's fouled back, and it's 1-1. There is the spray chart for Carlos Asuaje. Everything mostly to the right side, and that's where they have the defenders in the infield. Chris Owings, just his second start this year, and second start in his career at third base tonight. Jake Lamb sits against the left-hander Lucchesi. Saw CO out well before the game today, Bob, working with Tony Perez-Chico on his defense at third.
Oh yeah, it was quite an operation down there at third base. Tony was standing at home plate hitting some soft toss pitches so CO could read the ball off the bat just like you will in a game. They rolled some bunts down the third base line, had him barehanded balls thrown across the diamond.
Infield coach's work is never done. Hosmer on deck. Godley behind on Asuaje, 3-1. Just off the plate, but Laz Diaz says strike two. Asuaje had some long at bats last night. He saw 27 pitches in the ball game, all by himself. One of the reasons he was on base all 4 times he was up there. Godley goes to the curveball, gets the strikeout.
An unusually big swing in a 2-strike count for Carlos Asuaje that time. Normally he's a guy that'll shorten up and just try to punch the ball into play with 2 strikes, but Zach Godley fooled him with that big curve that time.
Eric Hosmer hitless last night. He struck out 3 times. 264 and 9 home runs. Ground ball to first, backhanded by Goldie. Godley covers, and there's a nice quick first for Zach. A good start here for the D-backs against the Padres. The rookie left-hander Joey Lucchesi, 25 years old. Only a dozen starts in the big leagues, but he's pitched well. 4-3, a 3.26 ERA. He doesn't really deliver the baseball. He just kind of unfolds out there in sections.
It's one of the more unique deliveries you will see from a major league pitcher, but so far it's worked well for Joey Lucchesi.
And he's got that very interesting breaking pitch that he calls a churve. More on that coming up. Peralta back in the leadoff spot. John Jay has the night off. There you go. Lucchesi hands over his head like Clayton Kershaw, and then he comes at you in sections. There's a fastball for a strike. Numbers on David, 284 and 15 homers. Back after the night off last night.
Got him.
And it hit him.
Four-seam fastball up and in. Just may have grazed David there on the back arm, the left arm.
Valley Chevy Dealers has the D-backs lineup.
David Peralta doing what a leadoff man's supposed to do, get on base. He'll be out in left field. Nick Ahmed at the plate right now. He's at shortstop. Paul Goldschmidt will be at first base. A.J. Pollock in center field. Steven Souza Jr. in right field. Cattell Marte at second base. John Ryan Murphy doing the catching with Chris Owings at third, and right-hander Zach Godley on the mound.
Nick batting .226 on the year. He's got 10 home runs. A couple of hits in last night's series opener. Well, Nick's had a lot of success this year against left-hand pitchers. One of them, Joey Lucchesi, back in April.
Boom. That curve that just kind of stayed over the middle of the plate for him. He went down and golfed it out of here to left field into the D-backs bullpen.
Nick singled twice last night, batting in the 2-hole against the lefty Eric Lauer.
Eric Lauer picked off Shelby Miller at first base last night, his 8th of the year. Joey Lucchesi's picked off 3 guys himself.
There's Shelby. Big step forward for him last night. Still didn't quite get the result he wanted, but there was definitely clear progress. Curveball looked awfully good. Fastball velocity hit 97. Ahmed to center. Manuel Margot's out there. One down. Here's the Padres defense tonight, brought to you by E.D. Marshall Jewelers.
Manuel Margot covering ground out there in center field. Travis Jankowski will be in left with Hunter Renfroe in right. The left side of the infield is Christian Villanueva and Freddie Galvis. Right side, Carlos Asuaje and Eric Hosmer. Austin Hedges doing the catching again tonight for left-hander Joey Lucchesi.
No Will Myers. He has the night off for Andy Green. Paul Goldschmidt, 270 now with 19 home runs. Quiet night for Goldie last night. 0 for 5. He struck out 3 times. Fastball down low, 0-1. Saw that highlight on the Ahmed homer earlier this year. Lucchesi was here at Chase Field April 22nd. He walked 4 in that start, gave up 4 runs, 5 hits in 5. Got his first major league loss. But for the most part, he's pitched pretty well this year. Now there's his curve. Now, all right, what's a curve? Well, he holds the ball like a circle changeup, spins it like a curveball. The catcher, Austin Hedges, says it's kind of a changeup slider. Eric Hosmer says it's a changeup, but the action is like a curveball. It's all those pitches kind of rolled into one, and it's very unique.
Well, I have to do it right-handed, but basically it's a circle change grip, but he throws it like a curveball. A circle change, normally you'd keep your hand behind the baseball and it would come out this way, but he throws that curve like a curve with a change-up grip. Very odd pitch. I've never seen anybody throw anything quite like it.
Here it is again. It moves differently than your typical breaking ball, and he's got the element of surprise there. But the issue he may face is he's basically got just the 2 pitches, the low 90s fastball and the curve, and not a whole lot else. But he's made it work so far. Goldie gets into one. Deep left field. Jankowski won't get there. The one hops the wall.
And Hedges wants the ball away. It strays back over the inside part of the plate. Sounding good off the bat, hit it in the right part of the ballpark. Just didn't get it quite enough carry to get it out of here. Jankowski with a sliding attempt as that ball bounces up and over the bullpen fence.
Round rule double, second and third, 1 out for A.J. Pollock. AJ hitting .288 with 11 home runs. Got a pair of hits last night, including a double. His first 2 base hits since returning from that fracture in his left thumb. Chance to strike early right here.
It goes without saying this is an area where the Diamondbacks really need to do a better job. It's not that they're not trying to get hits with runners in scoring position. They just can't find them right now.
Tap to third. Villanueva slips. Looks Peralta back to the bag, and they retire AJ at first. Two down for Steven Souza Jr. Just 15 games with the D-backs this year, batting .152. Return last night after aggravating that pectoral injury, 0 for 3 with a walk. Second and third, 2 outs. Fastball misses up. 92 is about the most Lucchese's got. He is not a hard thrower, but with that goofy delivery and that curve, there is a lot of deception. You don't really see the ball too well against him.
He has that fastball in the low 90s, as you mentioned, but scouts will say it plays up because of his delivery. It's very deceptive. The ball seems to explode out of his hand, and even though the radar gun readings won't light up the sky, hitters just don't seem to get on that fastball.
Bob, I noticed the way that you held the ball. Usually, watch Lucchese's hand. Usually a pitcher holds it on the seams. He holds it in the palm of his hand. Right like that.
Well, it's very easy to go to that curve grip from right there. He just slides his index finger a little farther toward his thumb, and that is that curve grip. And if he wants to go to a fastball, very easy to slide that index finger right back up on top of the seams.
Fastball misses away. 3-0 on Steven Souza Jr. with Ketel Marte on deck. As Bob mentioned last night, Souza put on quite a display in 4 games rehabbing at Reno. They hit 2 triples and 3 home runs. Peralta is at third. Goldie at second. 2 outs. Went to the curve, and now it's full 3-2. Got him on a fastball in. Lucchese strands 2, no score after 1.
Godley on the mound looking for his 10th win on the season. Really an impressive feat. When you think about the up and down season Zach has had so far this year, but it all comes down to that curveball. It's been a very effective weapon for Godley, but to activate that swing and miss pitch, he's got to establish that fastball command early. That is something he struggled with in that game against the Giants. They really sat on that fastball. However, he worked a clean, fast first inning, so hopefully, guys, a little confidence on his side, and this will be that bounce-back outing he's been looking for.
Yeah, Kate, such an important start for Zach. A 1-2-3, 12-pitch first, and now Hunter Renfroe, the big right fielder, leads off the San Diego second. 0 for 4 last night. He struck out twice. Belts that one into center, leadoff single. Padres third baseman tonight, Christian Villanueva, who is leading San Diego both in home runs and RBIs.
We talked about Zach Godley, the key to the game. First things first, get that leadoff man in an inning, and here's Hunter Renfroe in the second with a leadoff single. Going to have to pitch around that.
Throwing that curveball for strikes, as Kate just mentioned, very important. Villanueva hit into a double play as a pinch hitter last night. Godley would certainly take a ground ball right here. Threw the curveball for a strike, and then Bob threw it in the dirt.
It's much more effective when you're ahead in the count. That curveball looks too close to take, and you'll get a lot of swings at pitches that end up in that left-handed batter's box in the dirt if you're ahead in the count. You fall behind in the count, the hitter's going to naturally narrow his strike zone down, look for specific pitches in specific spots with the count in his favor.
Here's a little tapper. Owings at third. Marte. They can't turn the double play. Villanueva beats it out at first, but they get Renfroe at second.
Nice quick feed that time by Chris Owings. Moves to his left. That sidearm throw, staying down low. Ketel Marte, a nice job of turning it right there. Just a little bit too much time had elapsed. Villanueva able to beat it out first.
So Owings gets his first test of the night at third base. Brings up Manuel Margot, the center fielder. Batting .236. He's homered 3 times. Cutter missed, and it's 1-0.
That cutter's been a very spotty pitch this year for Zach Godley. Opponents hitting .351 against his cutter this year, .313 against his sinker, only .209 against that curveball. That's why he throws so many curveballs.
Just like that, throw it for a strike, and it's 1-1. Just trying to find more consistent command. He's been kind of all over the place lately. Even when he wins the game, it's been erratic. And against the Giants his last time out, even Zach admitted just couldn't locate certain pitches. Most importantly, as Kate mentioned, that fastball. There's the cut fastball, misses up. The only thing he could really throw for strikes were his changeup and curveball. This makes it hard to win if you can't throw your fastball or your cut fastball where you want it. Good curve right there. Margot had to bite, and it's 2-2. Freddie Galvis, the shortstop, on deck. Villanueva takes off, swing and a miss. Here's the throw. It rolls into center field, and Villanueva will get third. Margot strikes out. Murphy's throw was to the first base side of the bag and went past the infield.
Oh, another one right there. If John Ryan Murphy just makes contact with Manuel Margot, Villanueva would have been called out at second base for batter interference right there, but unfortunately made the throw, avoided contact, and sailed it into center field for an E2.
And now he's at third, 2 down. Galvis the shortstop. 236, 4 home runs. He singled and had an RBI last night. Chase the curveball, and it's 1-1. Galvis is a switch hitter. He's got power from each side of the plate. Lifts this one the other way. Peralta's in left near the warning track, and he's got it. Godley strands the runner at third. Still no score. Wraps up tomorrow. 2 huge games on Fox. Sweden will face Harry Kane in England. Come on, you Spurs. That's at 6 in the morning. And then Russia battles Croatia at 11. You can catch it all on Fox. Stream it all live on the Fox Sports app. There's the actual real bracket. And now for the pretend bracket, we turn to our soccer correspondent, Bob Brenly. Ketel Marte will lead off the bottom of the second against Joey Lucchesi. Jumps on the first pitch, hits a high fly ball to left center field. Jankowski calling off Margot.
Well, as you know, partner, there was a big upset today. Brazil got beat by Belgium, so that involved a little adjustment, just adjustments to my bracket.
We like to call them crossouts in the real world. I know Neymar was flopping around and Belgium upset Brazil.
Oh, good.
I'm sure you had that already, as you predicted.
Well, I kind of anticipated it, but
maybe not.
It wasn't until after the game that I was able to finally make my pick.
I noticed that it's when the games end, that's where you sort of have that moment of clarity that you zoom in and make your pick.
It's amazing. It really is how that works.
John Ryan Murphy. John Ryan, 9 homers this year, 5 of them against left-hand pitchers.
Well, this Lucchese delivery, I still can't get used to it. He stands up so tall on the rubber at one point. He bends over at the waist. You think he might drop down sidearm. Then he goes upright again. He's all over the place.
He looks like a Swiss Army knife out there. Ooh. Scoreboard says strike. I did not see Laz Diaz signal strike, even though it was in the strike zone. Well, now there's 2 strikes.
Yeah,
that we
Laz
know
calls
of.
strikes a lot like I pick soccer teams. He waits a little while, sees how things work out, and then he'll make a call.
Well, we can wait. Churve misses in the dirt. Don't get to say that a lot. Yeah, Lucchese already had most of this unique delivery in high school in California. Then he went to college at Southeast Missouri. And that's when he started the Kershaw part, where he stretches his hands way up above his head in the windup. And then he's got the big leg kick coming up, kind of hides the ball behind his back. That's where he gets the deception. Coming at you. That almost hit your World Cup bracket.
It was close.
And we wouldn't know who's going to win.
Might rearrange my teams again.
Yes, because that hasn't happened yet. 2-2, we think. Got the fastball in there again for a strike. Same pitch he got Souza with. 2 down in the second. Here comes Chris Owings.
Hey, partner, some congratulations are in order. Minor league players of the month for May in the Diamondbacks organization. The pitcher of the month in May, Wei Chen Wang. Having a real good year between Visalia and Jackson. Also catcher Rene Martinez from Kane County, the position player of the month for May. And in June, the pitcher was Jeff Bain, pitching at Kane County, 7-3 with a 2.71 ERA. And Socrates Brito just lighting the world on fire in the month of June. Hit .415 and an OPS over 1,300.
Hunter Renfroe in right. Well, Lucchese's retired 5 in a row. We hit the 3rd. No score at Chase Field. The Arizona Lottery right there from home, along with all the fans at the ballpark. You can win half the pot. Help the kids in our community. Get your tickets online during every D-backs home game on Fox Sports Arizona. at dbacks.com/5050 raffle, and the winning number gets revealed on the postgame show. They, by the way, the guy that won the other night is going to be here, I think, tomorrow. Who won $100,000 or something? He's going to come in and get a big check. Kind of a neat thing.
Well, maybe bought a whole section of the ballpark for the game. He can afford it now.
Austin Hedges, the catcher, leads off the third. Our thanks again to all the fans who participated in our 4th of July 50-50 raffle. Got up over $230,000, and half of that went to Folds of Honor.
And just as an alert to those of you who aren't here at Chase Field tonight, he was an online winner. He wasn't even here at the ballpark that night, so you can get in on it as well.
Cindy played at home. She had 4 of the numbers. There was about a half a second where we freaked out, and then oh wait, that's not a 6. There's a curveball.
No.
Godley throwing that pitch for strikes.
I might be able to help you with that. I can, you know, just like my soccer.
Yeah,
I can change a few
if you
numbers
present
here and there.
a ticket with all cross-outs over, I don't think they accept it.
It's worth a shot.
You know, you got a point. There's another curveball in there for a strike.
Three for Zach Godley is that cutter.
Put in a good spot just off the plate, and he only got a piece of it to ground out. D-backs percentage points behind the Dodgers for the NL West lead. There's a tie at the top of the standings, but LA's like 0.02 of a point ahead. Rockies and the Giants 3.5 back. Dodgers are at the Angels tonight. Kenta Maeda on the mound in Anaheim. That's just underway. The Rockies are at Seattle. That game just started at Safeco Field. And the Giants are hosting St. Louis, just underway at AT&T Park. Lucchesi to pitcher, slices one into left.
Receive 15% off at the Chase Field Team Shop when you use the card by Gila River Casinos.
Here's the leadoff man, Travis Jankowski, grounded out to Nick Ahmed his first time up. That is the first hit as a professional baseball player for Joey Lucchesi.
How about that? Lucchesi had been 0 for 14 before that at bat with 9 strikeouts. He had drawn 3 walks. That's pretty impressive. I always look at the walks column for pitchers offensively just to see if they have an idea of the strike zone.
Let's see. Zach had been establishing he'd throw that curveball for a strike. He was getting ahead. He buried that one, and now he's behind 1-0. Down the line in right. That's a fair ball in the corner. Souza over to get it, and Lucchesi is in at third. Long single for Travis Jankowski.
Lucchesi, first professional hit, obviously hasn't run the bases a whole bunch, and Travis Jankowski, as we've talked about, couldn't fly. Wouldn't surprise me if Jankowski ended up at third base had Lucchesi not been in front of him. He wasn't even sure if he was going to make it to second.
So the Padres have something going. Runners in the corners, 1 out. Carlos Asuaje struck out his first time up tonight. Away from the shift, Ahmed will backhand it. They get 1, and that's it as Lucchesi makes it 1-0 San Diego.
Another nice play. You see where Nick starts, almost behind the bag at second. Another great backhanded play, and that lightning quick exchange from glove into throwing hand allows him to get rid of it quickly enough to get the lead man, but the Padres take a 1-0 lead.
So Asuaje at first, 2 outs, and here's Eric Hosmer. Again, a first pitch curveball for a strike. It's 0-1. Osmer leads the Padres in hits and extra base hits. But right now he is stuck in an 0 for 15 at the plate.
I remember working on Dusty Baker's staff in San Francisco, and we'd go over the advance reports and look at the numbers, and you always hated to see a guy that you knew was a good hitter 0 for 15 or 0 for 18 coming into your series, because you know at some point they're going to bust out. Eric Hosmer is not going to slump for the rest of the year. He's going to get hot. Just let it happen after this series is over.
Well, Zach, just in this at bat, has started falling off the mound again. It's never going to be, as Torrey likes to say, pristine when Zach Godley is out there. But the problem has been not that he falls off the mound. That's sort of his natural delivery, is that he releases the ball as or before he's falling off the mound, and that's where the command gets lost. A little squib shot foul.
Anytime you're throwing something or shooting a basketball or trying to make a putt on a golf course, you try to be still. Everything as still as possible so you can get that ball going on the proper line. I mean, you don't run up to a putt in motion and swing at it as you're running by.
Well, Phil Mickelson did that in the Open.
He did. How'd that work out?
Not so much.
Yeah, there has to be some consistency in that delivery just to get you in a good release point to get that ball going toward your target.
Oh boy. Suaje had wandered off the bag towards second. Ahmed broke over to cover, and Suaje changed his mind. There's Skip Schumacher coaching at first. We saw that happen to Will Myers in the ball game last night. Got that big lead and changed his mind.
Yeah, the only basketball player that I remember, well, Steph Curry a little bit. He kind of glides at times when he shoots the basketball. Rex Chapman, when he played for the Phoenix Suns, could shoot the ball as he was gliding in midair from right to left and still hit the bottom of the net.
Oh, there's something going on behind David Peralta on the warning track in left field that has to be retrieved.
Hosmer seen 5 pitches in this at bat, all curveballs.
Well, Suaje gets a big jump again and stops. That's the second time he's done that. Looks over at Skip Schumacher. Something's going on down there. Galvis got picked off doing that in the 6th inning last night. Late time granted by Laz Diaz.
You see Zach Godley palms up going, what's going on? We've talked about this many times over the last couple years. The umpires used to protect the pitchers. They would not give the hitter a late timeout if they felt that pitcher was too close to delivering that ball. But over the past couple years, we've seen a lot of pitchers almost in mid delivery, and timeout is called at home plate.
Right back to Zach. But the Padres take the lead. D-backs trail it 1-0.
1-0. Time to take a look at this day in baseball history on the 50th anniversary of the Midsummer Classic All-Star Game. Fred Lynn hits the first grand slam in All-Star Game competition. The AL won that year 13-3.
That was, I believe, at Tiger Stadium. No?
White Sox.
Comiskey.
Comiskey.
Okay.
Yeah, old Comiskey. And the pitcher was a teammate of mine, Atlee Hammaker, who had one of the best first halves you will ever see. He went 9-4 with a 1.7 in the first half. Wheels came off a little bit after that grand slam in the All-Star Game. He went 1-5 after the break.
Zach Godley, the pitcher, down 0-2.
People ask me a lot, who's the best pitcher you ever caught? Who's the best pitcher you ever caught? For half a season in 1983, it was Atlee Hammaker.
Wow.
He was a little bit like T.J. McFarland. He only threw 2 pitches, a sinker and a slider, and everything was from the top of the kneecaps to the bottom of the kneecaps. That was his zone.
There's a curve, and Godley strikes out. Third strikeout for Lucchesi, who's now set down 6 in a row. Atlee Hammaker, he only finished 10-9 in 1983, but he led the league with a 2.25 ERA.
Had some shoulder issues in the second half of the season there, missed several starts.
Pitched for a long time after that, too. 12 years in the big leagues, Atlee Hammaker. Here's David Peralta. Grazed by a pitch his first time up. There's a cheer for a strike.
And Atlee Hammaker still connected to Major League Baseball. His daughter married the catcher for the Cleveland Indians, John Gomes.
I remember Atlee Hammaker because he wore number 14.
Yeah.
And back then that was a really low number for a pitcher. Those are the kind of things that you sort of glom onto when you're a kid.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Two balls and 1 strike on David Peralta. D-back so far just 1 hit. Goldie a ground rule double in the left field corner back in the first.
And watch when Joey Lucchesi, right there is where he changes the grip on the baseball. This looks like it's going to be the 2-seam sinking fastball right here. We'll keep an eye on it and see if we can identify that curve from that grip. Yeah, you see right there, he's rolling the ball around trying to find that 2-seam grip right there to throw the sinker. See if we can get him to throw a curve here sometime. Although David Peralta probably isn't real crazy about that possibility. Looks like a 2-seamer again.
Pretty good pitch right there at the knees, but now it's full 3-2. Las Diaz didn't give Lucchesi the low strike that time. Ahmed on deck.
There's the curve grip. You saw that index finger come down to the thumb.
Lifted in the air, short right field. Renfroe's under.
Yeah, it's easy for us cheating from our center field camera to peek right into the glove of Joey Lucchesi, but as a hitter you look for the same things from the other side. Does his glove move? Does he raise his glove higher on one pitch and lower on another? When you're constantly trying to look for some difference between a guy that basically just throws 2 pitches.
Nick Ahmed flied out his first time up. Lined out hard to center.
You remember the name Pedro Estacio, I'm sure.
Oh, sure.
Well, when Pedro was pitching for the Colorado Rockies, he used to take a real long step back in his windup when he was throwing a breaking ball to give himself a little more time to get the grip. If he was throwing a fastball, it was a real short, choppy step back, and it was so apparent.
Probably not good to do that at Coors Field.
No.
Or Mile High. Lucchesi was 3-1 in his first month in the majors. Then went winless in 3 starts in May before he went down with a right hip strain. He was out over a month, came back on June 20th, and this is his 4th start tonight since he came off the DL. So his rookie season was interrupted there with that hip problem. Out to right field. Renfroe runs it down. That's 8 straight set down by Lucchese. He leads it 1-0. Field. Secure your tickets, fans, for the remaining giveaways at Chase Field, like the Jake Lamb Bobble July 21st, the 20th anniversary Team T August 4th, and brand new today, the Ketel Marte Luchador bobblehead. That comes up September 8th. That's a great bobblehead.
Yeah, look at that.
Dbacks.com has our list of giveaway dates left this year. Under Renfroe, the Padre right fielder leads off the 4th. Good curveball by Godley. He jumps ahead 0-2. Waves at a curveball in the dirt. 3rd strikeout for Zach. 1 down in the 4th.
Well, before that at bat, the Padres have done a pretty nice job of laying off of the Zach Godley curveball. He had thrown 23 curveballs. They had taken 13 of them. It looks like they're just trying to get a fastball. They're hoping that Zach Godley falls behind in the count, has to come in with a fastball, and they're ready to feast on that heater. Taking a lot of curveballs in this game already.
There's Villanueva. Do you think? Well, I'm sure they know that Godley has struggled with his command lately. He has not been a strike thrower recently. D-backs have the overshift on the left-hand side against Villanueva. There's a curveball for a strike. StatCast powered by AWS. The numbers on Villanueva, pretty much a dead pull hitter. Does not use the whole field. Through that cutter. Off the plate. Darting away from the right-hand batter, and it's 1-2. Starting to get more awkward swings with that curveball than we've seen lately. Saw a lot of those in April when Godley really had it rolling. Haven't seen so many lately. He used to get some really bad swings at that curveball. We've had a few here tonight. Just got a piece of that one to stay alive. Get the sense, Bob, that Zach is a little more under control tonight.
Yeah, we haven't really seen him tumble off to the first base side of the mound. His curveball has been around the strike zone for the most part. He's bounced a few when he's been ahead in the count trying to get some chase strikes, but it looks like he's controlling his pitches much better tonight. They're not all going to be strikes. They're not all going to be perfect pitches, but he's not throwing curveballs over in the left-handed batter's box. He's not throwing cutters behind hitters.
There's another bad swing and a curveball. 2 strikeouts open up the 4th.
Take a look at the pitch by pitch. A curveball to start the sequence just off the plate. Another one drops in there for a called strike. That was the cutter up and away. Got a swing and a miss on that one, and then starts working the curveball down in the zone. Villanueva was able to foul off a couple of them. Just fought off that fastball and then chases a bad curve over in that batter's box. Our nationwide vision eye on the game.
There's Manuel Margot, and Godley had it going early in April. He saw swings like that all the time. He seemed untouchable at times. Kind of a wild fastball there. It's 1-0 on Margot, who struck out his first time up. Well, Tori's always telling us, Zach is a big, burly, husky guy. There's not a lot of finesse with Zach Godley, but there's got to be a way to sort of contain that energy, slow it down just a bit. I think we've seen that tonight. Ketel Marte has it. Good 4th for Godley. D-backs trailing 1-0.
All military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Save fromage. D. Baxter doing his thing. D-backs trail the Padres 1-0. Goldie, who doubled in the first inning, will lead off the 4th. That's still the only Diamondbacks hit against Joe Lucchesi, who has retired 8 straight since the Goldie double. Goldie coming off an 0 for 5 last night. He struck out 3 times. Rockies have the early lead at Seattle, 1-0 over the Mariners. Giants at home trail St. Louis 1-0. They're in the 2nd. Now make it 2-0 Colorado. Dodgers and Angels are scoreless in Anaheim. Here's the curve. 2-2. Goldschmidt, Pollock, Souza due up 3, 4, and 5 in the Diamondback fourth.
I can only imagine the first time Joey Lucchesi pitched in front of a professional pitching coach and they saw that wind up and whoa, hey kid.
You're going to have to change all of that.
Yeah, none of that's going to work in the major leagues. Well, I don't know about that.
Working so far for the most part. 3-2 to Goldie. Got him on a fastball. 9 straight set down by Lucchesi.
A lot of the fastballs that Joey Lucchesi throws are up there above the belt, sometimes up above the letters. It's a good compliment to throw high fastballs when you throw that big slow curveball.
A.J. Pollock. A.J. grounded out his first time up tonight. Batting cleanup. Rockies just scored another run. Better check out what's going on in Seattle. Every time you look up, it was 1-0, 2-0, now 3-0 Rockies. King Felix having problems for the Mariners. Tapper to shortstop for Galvis.
Let's see, we've got a wow, a lot of stuff here. Charlie Blackmon with a homer, Tony Walters with a triple, Emil Tapia with a double. Yeah, King Felix in an inning and 2/3 giving up 5 hits and 3 runs already.
Ouch. Here you see the Giants trailing the Cardinals 1-0. No score in LA. The Dodgers and the Angels. Souza struck out looking on an inside fastball his first time up. Lucchesi working on what would be his 3rd consecutive 1-2-3 inning.
Chris Sale's at it again tonight for the Red Sox. 12 punch outs through 6 innings against the Royals. Home runs in that game by Mookie Betts, number 22. Just dingers, J.D. Martinez with number 27 and Xander Bogaerts with number 14.
Yankees lost at Toronto 6-2 in the Rogers Center. Hard to short. Galvis is right there. And Joey Lucchesi has retired 11 consecutive D-backs. He leads at 1-0. Chase Field on a Friday night. D-backs trail the Padres 1-0, set for the start of the 5th inning. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink. Game 3 of this 4-game set. 7:10 start tomorrow night. Robbie Ray versus Tyson Ross. D-backs live pregame show at 6:30 on Fox Sports Arizona. Freddie Galvis, the San Diego shortstop, leads off the 5th against Zach Godley. Galvis flied out his first time up tonight. Galvis with San Diego after 6 seasons in Philadelphia. Padres got him in December for a minor leaguer. He's 28 years old. He can become a free agent this winter. The future at shortstop for San Diego is Fernando Tatis Jr., one of baseball's top prospects. He was 5 for 8 in a doubleheader last night for AA San Antonio, and Tatis Jr. will appear in the All-Star Futures game. So Galvis is kind of a stopgap guy until Tatis is ready.
And you get the feeling if the Padres continue to go the way they have in the first half, in the second half, he might see Tatis up here sooner than you expect.
You go through the list of shortstops that they just cannot find a guy. I mean, you go back to Alexei Ramirez and Eric Ibarg. They had Clint Barmas for a while. Clint Barmas. But in Galvis, they've got a guy who is one of the premier defenders in the game. Oh, roller to second. Marte scoops it up. 5 in a row set down by Godley. Speaking of the futures game, by the way, and you were mentioning Diamondbacks minor league players of the month earlier. Yohan Lopez, remember the Cuban signee who had so many problems on and off the field, struggling, trying to acclimate himself to this country. He is having a sensational season and will appear in the futures game coming up July 15th in Washington. Here's the catcher, Austin Hedges. Lopez is pitching at AA right now in the D-back system, the Jackson Generals. And he's working as a reliever. He's got 55 strikeouts in 37 innings.
Wow.
So he is really pitching well. And that's really good to see. That one drops just on the line fair for Hedges and rolls over to the seats. Souza throws it over everything. Peralta there to back it up, and Hedges will have to stop at second. Of course, the throwing was the last thing to come around for Steven Souza Jr. coming off the pectoral injury, and that was not a good toss back into the infield.
Yeah, maybe an over adjustment. He made a throw toward home plate last night and kind of spiked it into the infield dirt. This time he airmails it over everybody there at second base. Really nice play to get to the ball and spin, and had his throw been accurate, they might have had a chance to get Hedges at second base.
But regardless, he had to stay there. Peralta hustling over from left to back it up and collect that ball. So it's a 1-out double. Here's the pitcher, Lucchesi.
That's a nice play by David Peralta. So many times if the ball's not hit to an outfielder, they just stand at their position and watch the play happen. That time David hustles in, got in a position where he could back up that errant throw and hold Hedges to a double.
You used to tell me that was one thing you really admired about Gonzo, that he would do that all the time.
Every play. If he wasn't involved in a play, he found something to do. Run in and back up second, run in and back up third base, run over and tell Steve Finley in center field where to throw the ball after he caught it. It's very easy to just stand in your position and root for your teammates, but it's a whole nother thing to move your feet, use your voice, and do something to help your teammates.
There's a curveball. 5 strikeouts for Godley, 2 down in the 5th.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free crunchy beef tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Jankowski has grounded out, singled 1 for 2, the leadoff man. He's got Hedges at second and 2 outs. Let's go D-backs, as Bob, you talked about at the top of our show. We've got to win these games against the NL West. You've got 4 teams all within 3.5 games of each other. And you can't worry about what place the Padres are in. Got to get some W's here. Things are getting close. Dodgers and D-backs tied for the division lead. And then after this, you've got 2 more against the Padres. Off travel day Monday, then 3 at Colorado. So you've got a whole bunch of games against the division coming up here before we finish the first half of the season in Atlanta next weekend.
And the Rockies have been playing much better lately. They've won their last 3 in a row. They're 6-4 over their last 10, and they lead the Mariners 3-0 in the second inning tonight.
So there's going to be a lot of competition, not just for the division, but for some wild card spots in the National League. And then you can start looking at teams like the Brewers and Cubs, Braves, Nationals,
Phillies,
yeah. Phillies beating up on the Pirates today, 14-4. Couldn't get Jankowski to offer it that fastball away. And Godley's behind 3-1 with a Suaje on deck. American League is very top heavy. National League is all kind of jumbled up. And missed badly with a curveball that time. First base on balls issued by Zach tonight. Comes with 2 outs in the 5th, and the batter is a Suaje.
Well, that in and of itself a big improvement for Zach Godley. I mentioned in his last start against the Giants, he went 4 innings, walked 5 Giants hitters in that game.
Yeah, Zach has walked at least 4 in a game 6 times this season, including both of his last 2 starts. So that is a huge improvement. Hedges is at second, Jankowski at first, 2 outs. First pitch swinging, pops it up right center field. AJ. Zach Godley keeps it a 1-0 ball game. MLB at Bat, your #1 D-backs app. Customize your experience. Catch every moment this year. Get D-backs home screen icons. Features like the MLB.TV game of the day. Pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, the whole thing. Download MLB at Bat today. Ralph Kelso. Way over our heads. Giving you D-backs baseball. Joey Lucchese has retired the last 11 batters he's faced. And Ketel Marte leads off the bottom of the 5th. Well, we have such a great crew here. Everybody, Kev and Judd and Holly, everybody, you know, we come in here at 2:30. Some of us. And this guy's been here for hours. Dennis Lamb, our producer Brad Weimer, Eric Faulkner directing tonight.
You know, our crew spends more time at the ballpark than the players do.
Oh, a lot longer.
A lot longer.
And then, you know, the game ends, we go home after a Snake Talk on the radio, and they're still out there in the truck putting stuff away, getting ready for tomorrow. So it takes a village to get these D-back games on the air for you, and we want to thank everybody that puts in long days in the heat.
Absolutely. That would make us the village idiots, right?
Well, I think that's fairly obvious. Kind of speaks for itself. 1-2 on Ketel. It's not like this is going to get out of play. Bob, the Diamondbacks haven't been aggressive tonight. They still only have one hit. That was Goldie's double in the first. But Lucchese here, while he's retired 11 straight batters since the Goldie double, he's got 7 of those 11 outs on 3 or fewer pitches. So he's been ruthlessly efficient here tonight.
And there have been some hard hit balls. I mean, Nick Ahmed lined out to Hunter Renfroe in right field to end the 3rd inning. A couple of hard ground balls to short in that 4th inning by A.J. Pollock and Steven Souza. And unfortunately, when they have made solid contact, they hit it right at a Padre defender.
Lucchese has not walked a batter. He struck out 4. Ahead of Ketel Marte, a ball and 2 strikes. Popped up foul ground near the San Diego dugout for Hosmer. John Ryan Murphy, the catcher. Lucchese's coming off a win in his previous start. That was last Saturday. He beat the Pirates at Petco Park. 5 scoreless innings, gave up only 1 hit. And he's only 2 outs away from another 5 scoreless innings, giving up 1 hit stretch. Although he did in that start against Pittsburgh walk 4, still wound up with a win. Swing and a miss on the curve. 0-2. Owings on deck. See Owen at 3rd base tonight. Well, this is a lot like last night's game, Bob, and that the D-backs scored a run in the 2nd inning, but you know about this time of night you looked up and Lauer, rookie lefty, had retired 9 straight. Suddenly he's up there with a lead, and that was it. Same thing happening tonight. Two and two.
Which is so out of character. I mean, we talked a lot about it early in the season last year, the Diamondbacks' ability after the first time through the order to figure something out against the starting pitcher. They go back to the dugout, they talk about what they saw, what was the shape of the pitch, what he'd throw you 0-2, what he'd throw you 3-1, and they'd come back with a better game plan the 2nd and 3rd time through the order. We haven't seen a lot of that, especially recently.
That's a really good point. That was almost an everyday occurrence last year. But Lucchese now working his way through the order for the 2nd time is pretty much carving them up. Although it's now full on Murphy 3-2.
And once again, I keep coming back to the fact that Lucchese only throws 2 pitches.
That's amazing. Villanueva has it at third.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACS50 at papajohns.com.
Well, Lucchese, a batter away from his fourth straight 1-2-3 inning. Here's CO lined out to right. His first time up tonight in there at third. Jake Lamb has the night off. Lucchese 60 pitches, 40 strikes. CO jumps on the first pitch again and lines out to right field again. And Lucchese has set down 14 consecutive Diamondbacks. Don't forget, fans, if you can't watch the D-backs games on TV, you can stream them live with your mobile device. Use Fox Sports Go. It's brought to you locally by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the free app. Take Fox Sports Arizona. And your D-backs with you wherever you go. Zach Godley and Joey Lucchese. Two teams that combined for just 1 run on 5 hits through 5 innings. And Eric Hosmer leads off the 6th. I don't know if you saw, Bob, but as always, Glenn Hoffman coaching at third for the Padres. He's been their third base coach since the early 40s. But he has a habit of coming out and running to his position over at the third base coach's box between innings. And as occasionally happens, he gets himself mixed up in a mascot race. There he is. And Matty almost runs him down. That's our Cricket Wireless something to smile about. So Glenn Hoffman pulls off to the side there and assumes his position in the third base coach's box. That could have been a disaster.
That's his 43rd year in professional baseball, 20 as a major league coach, and 13 years in a row as the Padres third base coach.
How about that? That was a changeup that Godley tried, and he spiked it badly. It's 2-1. Dodgers have taken a 1-0 lead over the Angels at the Big A. They're in the 4th. Giants on the board. They're tied with St. Louis 1-1 in the 3rd at AT&T Park. Rockies lead the Mariners 3-0 in Seattle. Murphy able to hang on, foul tip, and it's 2-2. Zach Godley. He has walked 1, struck out 5, and has pitched very well here tonight. Renfroe on deck. Villanueva after that. Well, Hosmer tried to satellite that curveball. He hasn't done a whole lot lately. Hosmer hitting only about .230 in his last 30 games. He's not getting on base, and as you can see here right now, he's stuck in an 0 for 16. He's grounded out twice tonight. Kind of tomahawks a cutter the other way, but Peralta's there. One out for Renfroe. Always got to be careful with Renfroe. He's got some big time power. Started him off with a curveball for a strike. That's made such a big difference for Zach tonight. Renfroe's got 38 hits this year, more than half of them for extra bases.
Interesting story in the media guide for the Padres about Glenn Hoffman. His father was a Marine. Thank you for your service. And as well as that, he was an usher at Anaheim Stadium and was a singer. Used to sing the anthem at the Big A.
Wow.
And when Glenn Hoffman signed his first professional contract with the Red Sox, he got it put in his contract that his father would get to sing the anthem at Fenway Park. How about that?
That's neat. Cutter down and away for a strike. It's 1-2. I remember Glenn Hoffman, number 18, coming up as a young kid shortstop in Boston.
And they actually used the performance of the anthem at Fenway Park for Trevor Hoffman's retirement ceremonies when he retired from the Padres.
Swing and a miss on the curveball. 6 strikeouts for Godley. Here's Christian Villanueva, the third baseman tonight. Villanueva leads the Padres with 17 home runs. But almost half of those came in the first month of the year. He had 8 home runs in April. But since the beginning of May, he's hitting under 190. He really cooled off. There's the overshift on against him. Starting to mix in more changeups now, the third time through the order. He's ahead 0-2. Zach Godley has pitched really, really well here tonight. Trying to finish off Villanueva. Got him. Zach Godley's 7 strikeouts, 6 innings of 1-run ball. Time to get him some runs. D-backs will host ASU and U of A nights here at the ballpark. You can get a custom ASU or U of A cap and a discounted baseline reserve ticket for only $25 if you get the special event ticket pack. ASU night August 21 and U of A night September 6. Visit dbacks.com/events. Zach Godley leads off the bottom of the 6th against Joey Lucchesi. Lucchesi has retired since Goldie's double in the first inning. 14 consecutive Diamondbacks. Zach hitting for himself here, Bob. Just over 80 pitches for the ball game, so it looks like he'll work into the 7th inning here tonight.
I'm just going to say the Diamondbacks offense needs to figure something out against Joey Lucchesi because they're going to be seeing a whole bunch of him. He's not going anywhere. This guy, I think, is going to be a fixture in this Padres rotation for quite some time.
Yeah, you had to like what they saw from Lauer last night. Now they got another young lefty out there tonight. Lucchesi punches that one foul in front of Dave McKay at first. There's Dick Robertson. Wrong way Robertson, our Golden Glover, down the right field line tonight. Mark Field. Now I believe Toby changed his nickname from Starbury Field to Mark Field of Dreams.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Right, Toby? That's been approved. The nicknames are
a couple of lefties tonight down either line.
Well, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Well, Godley's worked it full here, 3-2. Leadoff man Peralta on deck. Out of fastball. D-backs have got to get the offense going. Last 9 home games, they are averaging less than 3 runs per game, and they have gone 1-8 in their last 9 at home. Godley's pitched a beauty here tonight. They just can't get him any runs. He works a leadoff walk. First base on balls by Lucchesi, and the first D-back base runner since the first inning.
The D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack-in-the-Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
So here we go. 3rd time through the order now against the left-hander Lucchesi. Peralta's been hit by a pitch. He flied out to right his last time up.
Well, it's been a while since Joey Lucchesi's been in the stretch. Let's see if that has any effect on his deliveries.
And it's also been a while since I've gotten to 2 and beat the streak. I've got Peralta and Ahmed tonight. Need some hits. I know you're already in the win column.
I went way off the board tonight. I went with Trey Turner, and he got a knock. And Josh Reddick. I meant to get on Josh Reddick yesterday. He's been swinging it well lately.
Yeah. I'm a little concerned about the help that your staff gives you for your beat the streak picks. There's a lot of research that goes into that.
No, that's all me.
All right. Wow. You've taken personal control of that.
Until I hit 0 again, and then I'll blame it on them.
It's kind of a lot like the World Cup bracket, it sounds like. Fastball misses up. Lucchesi struggling now a bit. He walked the pitcher now behind on Peralta. 2-0. 70 pitches, 44 for strikes. He's walked 1 and struck out 4.
Well, this wouldn't happen if Zach Greinke was the base runner at first. They're playing behind Zach Godley. Eric Hosmer plays kind of right off his hip and then backs up into a better defensive position as the pitch is being delivered. Zach Greinke would just steal second base.
Done it a couple of times this year. Peralta took a big cut at that curve. 2-2.
Well, this David Peralta at bat, only the 2nd time the entire ball game Lucchesi's had a 2-0 count on a D-backs hitter.
Wow. He has been ahead all night long and very efficient. Only at 72 pitches here in the 6th inning. Ahmed on deck. Chase the curve. Lucchesi gets strikeout number 5. If you're just joining us, we talked about that earlier. That's the unique breaking pitch that Joey Lucchesi has. He calls it a curve. He holds it like a changeup, kind of spins it like a curveball. Sometimes it looks like a slider, sometimes it looks like a curve. He calls it a curve. Ahmed 0 for 2. He's lined out to the outfield twice. There's the curve, strike 1. It's one thing, I'm assuming, to know, okay, this guy throws a slider, this guy throws a curveball, so you have a general idea of what to expect. But do you need to see breaking balls to get an idea of the shape and the sort of the sweeping movement of the pitch?
No, I certainly think it helps. I mean, you can garner some information from looking at video and talking to teammates that have faced a guy before, but yeah, until you get in that batter's box and actually see what it looks like.
Margot plays it on a hop. 2 on and 1 out for Goldie.
Working our way third time through the order here, and we faced Joey Lucchesi earlier this year, so the Diamondbacks should have a pretty good idea of what he's doing out there. Doesn't always make it any easier to hit, but at least you got a better idea of what the pitches are going to look like and how they're going to act when they get in the hitting zone.
Well, Goldie doubled in the first, struck out on a 3-2 pitch his last time up. He's got 2 on and 1 out. D-backs trailing 1-0. Rally Cowboy getting them fired up. Kept that pitch down, and Lucchesi's ahead 0-2. Couple of breaking balls to start him off. Bullpen will start to get busy for San Diego. That's Simber, the right-hander. Base hit. They'll stop Godley at third, and the bases are loaded for A.J. Pollock. Goldie 2 for 3.
A pretty good chance anybody in the lineup, with the exception of Zach Godley, and this game is tied up right now. 3 consecutive curveballs from Lucchesi. Goldie rips the last one into left field. Yeah, you can see Godley was to the base before the ball got to Jankowski out there in left field, but just doesn't have the base running ability or the speed to score from second base on a hard hit ball.
Here we go for AJ. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. Bases full of D-backs and 1 out. They trail it 1-0.
You know, the Diamondbacks are still looking for their first grand slam this season.
Gonna keep doing it until it works. Or he left that breaking ball up. 0-1. Hit him, and we're tied at 1. Well, that'll work for the moment.
Just the beginning. Break the seal on that scoreboard. A fastball up and in. A.J. Pollock takes a grazer off of that elbow pad. That's the best kind of hit by pitch. You get an RBI and you don't get hurt.
That's how Peralta was hit. Almost the same type of hit by pitch to start the ball game. Here comes Andy Green. Steven Souza Jr. is the hitter. He's had the right-hander Simber warming up in the bullpen, and Greeny will make the move right here. Lucchesi will leave with the bases loaded. We're tied at 1. A 1-1 ball game now. Bases loaded. And here's the right-hander, Adam Simber, a 3.38 ERA, his 37th appearance of the year.
Another odd delivery, this time submarine way down there around the ankle level, but he's recorded 47 strikeouts against only 7 walks. Tremendous command from that submarine delivery.
A big chance to make a big splash for Steven Souza Jr. He has struck out looking, grounded out 0 for 2. 1-1 ball game now. Bases full, 1 out. Ahmed at third, Goldie at second, AJ at first. Oh and 2. Tapper back to the mound. Simber can't handle it. They get the out at first, but Ahmed scores, and the D-backs take a 2-1 lead.
Simber just misplayed that ball badly. They had a potential of a 1-2-3 double play right there if he fields it cleanly, but boxes the ball off his left leg, gets far enough away for the run to score. Unfortunately, they do get Souza at first base.
So with the bases loaded, it's been a hit batter and a Tapper back to the mound, but they get 2 runs in to take the lead. Second and third, 2 outs for Marte, who's 0 for 2. Well, Simber's up there throwing strikes. Goldie at third, AJ at second, 2 outs, 2 runs in. This is Adam Simber's MO. He throws a first pitch strike more than 65% of the time, so he's got that goofy angle. He comes right at you with it.
And that very unusual setup as he gets into his set position. The left foot is pointed back towards center field. Keep that front side closed a little bit. Make sure that hip doesn't fly open too quickly. Watch the left foot after he gets his sign from Austin Hedges. He'll come up into that set position and point his toe straight out to center field.
Right at you. Goldie had wandered far off the bag down at third. Had to dive back in there. Hedges can really throw back there. 1-2.
You get Simber pitching to Odubel Herrera. He'd be all messed up. Herrera's foot points back toward the catcher. The pitcher's foot points out toward center field. You wouldn't know which direction to throw the ball.
It's podiatrist night here at the ballpark. Bullpen busy for the D-backs. Yoshi Hirano. Single right here can tack on 2 big insurance runs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's full. Murphy on deck. Missed inside, and the bases are loaded again. John Ryan tonight 0 for 2. He has struck out, grounded out. How about this, Bob? D-backs this season with the bases loaded have 7 hits. 12 times with the bases loaded they've had either a hit batter or a walk. And that's been the case again here tonight, trying to bust this thing wide open here with 2 outs. John Ryan Murphy down 0-1. 8th man to bat and the D-backs 6th. Look out. Bullpen busy once again for Andy Green. Robbie Erlin, the left-hander. Ooh. Ought to break that time. 1-2. Goldie at third. AJ Pollock at second. Ketel Marte at first. 1-2 on John Ryan Murphy. Got him. D-backs leave him loaded, but they get 2. Take a 2-1 lead.
all on curveballs, and really only 2 of them were even in the strike zone. Once he got ahead in the count, he got the Padres hitter to chase that pitch in the dirt. That's one of the pitcher, Joey Lucchesi, right there. Only the 2nd strike he threw with that curveball on a 2-strike count. Outstanding job by Zack Godley tonight. Our nationwide vision eye on the game.
It's an interesting call here and a tough one. Zach, the way he's been pitching, just outstanding. He retired the last 4 he'd faced, up to 7 strikeouts, just over 80 pitches. He hit for himself in the bottom of the inning, but here's Yoshi Hirano on with a 2-1 lead. Now Yoshi, as we saw on the 4th of July here the other night, had a rough outing. His scoreless streak ended. First batter he faced, Jairo Munoz hit a home run against him. Hirano wound up giving up 4 runs in 2/3 of an inning. He'll face Manuel Margot, Freddie Galvis, Austin Hedges due up in the San Diego 7th, 6, 7, and 8. Margot 0 for 2.
Very odd 6th inning there for the Diamondbacks. They had 2 hits, neither one of them drove in a run. Souza scored a run with a 1-3 ground out, and AJ got hit by a pitch to drive in the other run.
Get him on, get him over, get him in. So we'll see if Yoshi here with a 1-run lead can bounce back after that Independence Day mess that ended his 26-game scoreless streak, a D-backs record. Don't forget Randall Delgado is back here today. Randall finally activated after his minor league rehab assignment. Good to have him back. The winning starts now. Wait, that's Dave Roberts saying, isn't it? I think we stole that from Dave Roberts. Let's use it in our favor. AJ in center. Well, I like where his head is at anyway. Here's the shortstop, Freddie Galvis, 0 for 2. Randall Delgado back from the 60-day DL, so he is ready to go in the bullpen. Fernando Salas was designated for assignment today. Tough decision for Torey Lovullo. We spoke with him about that, but boy, they have really missed Randall. And think about it, Bob, we haven't had Randall Delgado now basically for a full calendar year. He's been out. He got hurt midseason last year. And he has really been missed in that bullpen. He can be used almost. His versatility lets you use him 4th inning or 8th inning, anywhere in between.
I mean, there have been times in the past when Randall Delgado was used for a spot start, when they needed somebody to come out of that bullpen and take somebody's spot in the rotation for a start or 2.
And he was pitching so well doing that, they kept it going for a while there in midseason. So it's great to have Randall back. Now 1-2 on Galvis. He did not go, says Jeff Nelson. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Boy, Zack Godley, tremendously efficient. He really, for the first time in a long time, got into a rhythm. He threw 81 pitches in the ball game, but Zack pitches per inning. 12, 12, 15, 13, 15, 14, just one after another. And when he got in trouble, he generally got the big outs he needed. We talked about how last night was a step forward, certainly progress for Shelby Miller. This was a big jump forward for Zack Godley here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. As you said, he made his big pitches when he needed to. Padres 0 for 4 tonight with runners in scoring position.
Tricky play. Marte just under the glove. He had to get way over there to get there. And Galvis has a 1-out single.
Marte covers so much ground on that second base side of the field. You feel like he could get to everything. That one just a little bit out of his reach as he goes into a slide. That one sneaks through into right field for a base hit.
Here's Austin Hedges, the catcher. He homered in single last night. He doubled his last time up tonight, 1 for 2.
You saw that sign that John Ryan Murphy just made there with his right hand, alerting his infielders that Galvis over there might attempt a delayed steal. It's another one of those universal signs when your hand's kind of hopping to the right. Watch him over there. If he takes a couple of big steps on his secondary lead, he might just keep on going.
Galvis has stolen 3 bases this year, but he's been caught 5 times.
We talked about that delayed steal in the past. It's more of a steal on the middle infielders. If you get guys that drop their head after the pitch, start digging around in the dirt, or turn their backs to home plate and look out to the outfield, that's when you can occasionally pull that delayed steal.
Missed with a splitter. It's 1-1. Robbie Hammock, quality control coach.
And the Diamondbacks this season have only allowed 28 stolen bases. That's tied for the fewest in the National League with the Cardinals, Yadier Molina, and the Marlins, JT Realmuto.
One and two on Hedges. Pitcher's spot is up next. Jose Pereira has come out in the on-deck circle for San Diego. See if Yoshi can dial up some weak contact from Hedges, get a ground ball, and get out of here. Fastball up, 2 balls and 2 strikes on the Padres catcher. There's Pereira set to hit for the pitcher. Well, now Hedges has been hit by a pitch. Pereira will go back to the dugout and we'll get a different pinch hitter. Here comes Will Myers. That one grazed the top of the helmet.
Splitter that just got away from Yoshi that time. You rarely see him miss up with his splitter. He'll throw it in the dirt from time to time. He's usually around the bottom of the strike zone, but I don't think I've ever seen him throw one up and in like that.
So now they have 2 runners on with 1 out. So Pereira goes back. Here comes Will Myers, who had a pair of hits last night, including a triple. He drove in 2 runs. So this was the big bat that Andy Green was saving on his bench. And here comes Mike Butcher and Kelvin Condo to have a word with Yoshihisa Hirano. Dodgers are leading the Angels at the Big A. 1-0. They're in the 6th inning. The Giants hosting St. Louis. They're also in the 6th inning at AT&T Park. That game's tied at 1. And the Rockies at Safeco Field, Seattle, lead the Mariners 3-0. They're in the 5th inning. Top 4 teams in the National League West, all within 3.5 games of each other. And every game in the division now is going to be critical.
And Kenta Maeda for the Dodgers tonight through 5 innings, only 1 hit. He struck out 8, has not walked a batter, and shutting out the Angels.
So here we go. 2 on, 1 out, 2-1 ball game. Myers hits for the pitcher. This is a guy who is a .331 career hitter in this ballpark. He's homered here 5 times. Galvis is the runner at second. Hedges the catcher at first. Will Myers has only played in 23 games all year. He had a nerve irritation in his right arm just days into the regular season. That cost him the first month. And then almost as soon as he came back, he strained his left oblique and missed about 50 more games. So he's barely played this year. Oh. Low splitter, but Laz Diaz says strike one. Andrew Chafin starts to get loose in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. He might be getting ready for Hosmer. Well, you got a whole bunch of lefties coming up, actually. Jankowski, Asuaje, Hosmer. 3 in a row after this. That will trickle foul. 1-2.
Boy, it'd be huge if Yoshi can dial up a double play ball right here. The pitcher spot is due up second for the Diamondbacks in the bottom half of this inning. You could get through this one with Yoshi. You could pick your pinch hitter in that pitcher spot and then go to the lefty to start the 8th.
Myers also a guy that strikes out a lot, always has. Second in the National League in strikeouts last year. Yoshi in that appearance against St. Louis on the 4th of July really labored. He threw 28 pitches in that outing. And here we are 2 days later. He's at 18 pitches ahead of Myers 1-2. Got a fastball but fouled it straight back. Two and two. Travis Jankowski, the leadoff man on deck. Left-hand batter, Chafin ready in the bullpen. Back to the mound. They get one. could roll a double play ball here. How about this for your Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing cool play of the game?
One hopper right back to the mound. Plenty of time for Ketel Marte out there at second base to clear that sliding runner, make a strong throw onto first. It took 7 pitches in that at bat to get to it, but a 1-4-3 double play bails the D-backs out of a tough situation.
Keeps it a 2-1 Diamondback lead. New pitcher for the Padres, the right-hander Craig Stammen. He's been very good this year. 2.68 ERA, his 38th appearance. Chris Owings, the third baseman, leads off the D-backs 7th. Pitcher spot behind him, Daniel Descalso is in the on-deck circle. CO has twice swung at the first pitch and lined out to right. Breaking ball is a strike, 0-1. Archie Bradley will start to get it cranked up in the D-back bullpen. Galvis at shortstop.
Now Chris Owings has seen 4 pitches total tonight. 2 line drives to right field on the first pitch in his first two at bats, and then a ground ball to short on the second pitch of his third at bat.
Very aggressive tonight, starting at third against the left-hander. So they still have Lamb's bat on the bench if you want it, but they go to Descalso here. 254, 9 homers. Here's Archie in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. They'll have Jankowski and Swahe Hosmer due up in the 8th inning, 1, 2, and 3. Daniel singled as a pinch hitter in the ball game last night. He is 8 for 19 this season as a pinch hitter. Oh, come on, Laz Diaz.
Kidding me. Every night.
That's just not close. Borderline strikes, no problem. 1-1. Stammen's one of those guys that's sneaky good. He's just always effective. You never hear much about him. You know, no, Craig Stammen. Okay, well, you look at the numbers. Boy, he's just been really good.
Big time strike thrower, 44 punch outs in 40 1/3 innings, only 8 walks.
Daniel down, a ball and 2 strikes. Now you go back to the All-Star break last year. Craig Stammen has pitched scoreless baseball in 57 of his 68 appearances. Former Washington National. Padres, you think later this month they're going to get some calls on some of these bullpen guys like Stammen and of course Brad Hand, the closer. Strahm, the lefty, looked good last night. And Descalso strikes out, 2 down. Here's David Peralta. David tonight has been hit by a pitch. He flat out struck out, 0 for 2. He's got a 6-game hit streak on the line. There's a history here. Petco Park, Peralta, Stammen, and he got every bit of this one.
Yes, he did. I remember that one. That was way back.
Look at those glorious brown and gold Padre uniforms. Just saying. 1-0. Dodgers now have a 2-0 lead at Angel Stadium. They're in the 6th inning. Giants have taken a 2-1 lead over the Cardinals at AT&T Park, also in the 6th.
Rockies lead at Seattle 3-zip. Peralta sends this one out to Jankowski coming in. And Stammen works a 1-2-3 inning. Time to bring in the beard as we head to the 8th. Bobblehead to your collection coming up Saturday, July 21st. D-backs and Rockies here at Chase Field. The Jake Lamb bobble courtesy of Arizona Milk Producers. Get your tickets now at dbacks.com. On with a 2-1 lead. They bring in the beard. That's what the sign says. These guys are ready to watch Archie Bradley face the top of the Padre order. Jankowski, Asuaje, Hosmer 1, 2, and 3.
Well, this is following Torey Lovullo's script as far as using the bullpen late in a ball game. We saw Yoshi Hirano in that 7th inning. Now Archie Bradley in the 8th, even though the first 3 hitters due up this inning for the Padres are left-handed.
They had Chafin up earlier, but Hirano got that double play ball to win the 7th. Now Bradley starts the 8th. Jankowski has singled and walked. He's 1 for 2. Boy, Laz Diaz continues expanding that strike zone. 1-1. Tap to shortstop, Nick Ahmed. Well, Asuaje had the big night last night. A triple, a single. He walked twice, scored twice, knocked in a run. He does have an RBI ground down tonight, but he's 0 for 3. D-backs will overload the first base side against him. There are the numbers that support that. Another fastball off the plate. Another strike called by Laz Diaz. It's 0-1. Boy, big night for the Phillies tonight. They beat up on the Pirates in Pittsburgh 17-5. Phillies very much in the National League wild card discussion behind the Braves in the NL East. Atlanta lost at Milwaukee today 5-4.
Archie Bradley ideally looking for his 23rd hold this season. That would be the most in the major leagues.
Wow. Didn't get enough of it. Souza out there in right. 2 down.
Yeah, the Seattle Mariners as a team lead the major leagues with 68 holds this season. The Diamondbacks right on their tail with 63, second in the majors. League average is 46.
And Scott Service in Seattle getting all those holds, getting the ball to Diaz, who's just been a ridiculous wipeout closer this year for the Mariners, who are having a tremendous season. Here's Hosmer 0 for 3. Chased a high fastball, 0-1. Padre bullpen. Kirby Yates, the right-hander, just back from paternity leave today. Fouled away. 0-2. We're looking at that Mariner bullpen. Edwin Diaz, their closer, 34 saves. Next closest guy is Kimbrel with 26.
They were saying he might be the first pitcher in Major League history to get to 40 saves before the break.
He's on track. But Seattle, King Felix having a rough one tonight. The Rockies lead at Safeco Field 3-0 in the 6th inning. So everybody right now, the top 4 in the National League West, all winning. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Archie Bradley, a 1-2 3/8. It's 2-1 Diamondbacks.
Post-game show. We know that success for the Diamondbacks is based on starting pitching like it is for a lot of teams, and they got that from Zach Godley.
If I had a hat on right now, I would remove my hat to Zach Godley. Zach Godley did something tonight that he needed, the team needed. That was impressive.
It certainly was. He also led off the inning where they scored with a walk. So.
How about that? And they've been banging it around. They got hit by a pitch for a run scored and a tapper back to the box for a run scored. So, but this is Zach Godley's night thus far.
All right, we'll talk about that in the post-game, guys.
I need a hat.
We'll get you one.
Get Gracie a hat. You're right, Jody. If D-back can hang on, that would be win number 10 for Zach Godley. That would tie him with Max Scherzer for second most in the National League. Nick Ahmed leads off the bottom of the 8th. Craig Stammen back out there for the Padres. It's a fair ball over the bag and down the line. Jankowski's got it in the corner, and Nick Ahmed has his 17th double.
Stammen leaves a sinker right out over the heart of the plate. That's a pitch he wants to start in the middle and have it dive down and into a right-handed hitter, but he started it away and it tailed right back into Nick's happy zone. Ripped that double down into the left field corner.
Nick tonight 2 for 4. He's hit safely now in 8 of his last 9 games. Goldie 2 hits tonight. He has doubled and singled 2 for 3. Short right at Galvis, and they retire Goldie. D-backs bullpen starts to get busy. Be nice to tack on an insurance run. Brad Boxberger, the closer, is up in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Padres in the 9th inning will have Renfroe, Villanueva, and Margot due up 4, 5, and 6. Here's AJ. D-backs have played 10 2-1 games this season. That is the most 2-1 games in the major leagues. However, in those 10 games so far, they are just 4 and 6. Fastball's a strike, 0-1. Rockies now lead at Seattle 5-0. They're in the 6th inning. Cardinals come back to tie the Giants 2-2 in the 7th in San Francisco. Dodgers lead the Angels 2-0, 6th inning in Anaheim. Did not go Manny Gonzalez. 1-1. Padres bullpen still busy. That's Phil Hughes down there. Former Yankee starter from a million years ago. They had Kirby Yates up earlier in the ball game. One and two.
We've talked a lot about Shelby Miller and Robbie Ray coming back off the disabled list, and it might take them a while to get up to speed and be the people we expect them to be. The same thing goes for the hitters. I mean, you go out on a rehab assignment, you get 8 at bats, 10 at bats, whatever it might happen to be, but then you get at big league level, you're seeing good pitching every night, every at bat. And if your timing's off even a little bit, it's going to take a while until you get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, Souza, who's on deck, he had a longer rehab run than AJ did. AJ only had a handful of rehab at bats in actual games. Souza had been at it a little bit longer.
One thing that makes it a little bit easier for a position player is you can go down to the cage. You can take batting practice. The starting pitcher is not going to throw a lot of pitches between starts.
Can't.
Yeah.
No.
So a hitter, you know, even though maybe they say AJ is going to play 2 days and then sit one, the day that he sits, he's down in that cage banging hundreds of baseballs.
And AJ's got that cage at his house, probably up all night doing that. The way he's wired. He kind of nagged himself back into the lineup, I think, a little early. Hoping to kickstart the offense. Down 1 and 2 right here. Trying to get Ahmed home from second with 1 out. That's a bouncer foul at third. two teams here tomorrow night, fans. Robbie Ray and Tyson Ross. That's a pretty good pitching matchup. Don't forget a 7-10 start tomorrow night. D-backs live pregame show at 6:30 on Fox Sports Arizona. There's Robbie Ray.
And we know the Diamondbacks offense has been hitting off that high velocity machine a lot recently. Maybe facing Tyson Ross, ought to set up a sliding machine.
You might see 1 or 2 tomorrow night, or 70. Zach Greinke and Clayton Richard in the series and homestand finale Sunday. And Tyson Ross, one of those guys, either they sort of knock him out real early or he just dominates for 7-8 innings. You can't touch him. We've seen a lot of him over the recent years. AJ blasts that to center. Margot is there. Here comes Ahmed. Well, he barreled that one up. That's a loud out number 2. Well, here's a chance for Steven Souza Jr. Tap back to the mound with the bases loaded in the 6th that delivered a run. The difference in the ball game right now, in fact. Oh for 3. Ahmed at third, 2 outs. That one is through for a base hit. 3-1 D-backs. RBI single for Steven Souza Jr. Welcome back.
Both the returnees with much better at-bats in this inning. A.J. Pollock drove one to deep center field for an out. And this time, Steven Souza with a hard topspin grounder that gets through that left side. Chasing home Nick Ahmed from third base.
Well, Souza has driven in 2 of the 3 D-back runs tonight. Now it's a 2-run advantage for Boxberger. Here's Ketel Marte, who walked his last time up. He's 0 for 2. Boy, 2 out RBI hits. So critical. Are you going to wear a costume for Game of Thrones night tomorrow night?
Still trying to decide. I've got an entire closet full of Game of Thrones wardrobe, so let me just surprise you.
I think Vanessa's going to dress up as Khaleesi again. I'm not sure what Mike is going to do. Have to prepare something.
Winter is here.
Look at you.
Sure felt like winter outside today, didn't it?
Oh, only 116.
Boy, how lucky are we? I mean, it's 116 outside. It's about 75 degrees inside the ballpark tonight. Just perfect.
Nice and comfortable. So use our air conditioning. Come on out tomorrow night. Robbie Ray, Tyson Ross, Game of Thrones night at the ballpark. D-backs Padres. Ice Dragon bobblehead tomorrow. Send a Raven. Get a ticket. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Ketel Marte. Boxberger ready in the bullpen. D-backs trailed at 1-0, but they have got 2 in the 6th and now 1 more in the 8th. Zach Godley, as Gracie said a moment ago, just outstanding here tonight, looking for his 10th win. Toronto got out of a jam in the 7th inning with a double play ball. Archie Bradley, a 1-2 3/8, struck out Hosmer. And now Boxberger ready for the 9th. Souza takes off in the dirt. Hedges throw. Not in time. Second stolen base of the year for Steven Souza Jr. Now a single can tack on 1 more run.
Steven Souza Jr. can run a little bit. He had some stolen base seasons in the minor leagues at 25, 26. Got a great jump that time. Great slide into second base.
Yeah, swiped 16 bags in Tampa Bay last year. Full count on Marte, 3-2. Murphy on deck. Stammen's thrown 29 pitches, 20 for strikes. Ball 4. Second walk tonight for Ketel Marte. Brings up John Ryan Murphy. Murphy 0 for 3. Struck out twice. Two outs, a run is in. Souza at second and Marte at first. Good slider there on the first pitch, 0-1.
Well, you know, partner, we hear hitters all the time, especially after a game-winning hitter, game-winning home run, as Goldie always says. I just look for a good pitch to hit and try to put a good swing on it. Right now, John Ryan Murphy's not swinging good pitches, and he's taking the strikes. He's kind of in between, a little uncertain about whether to attack the strike zone or protect the plate. Swung at a slider off the plate to start the sequence, and then took a fastball right down the middle.
Down 0-2.
Good take there. That slider trying to lead him out of the strike zone. Stammen started a little farther away from John Ryan Murphy that time.
Rockies have taken a 6-0 lead at Seattle. The Giants have taken a 3-2 lead over the Cardinals. Angels are on the board against the Dodgers. Dodgers still lead at 2-1.
Being told that the Dodgers walked Mike Trout intentionally to load the bases, and then Kenta Maeda balked in a run.
That's a shame.
Hate it when that happens.
So every one of the top 4 teams in the NL West is winning right now. 4 teams all within 3.5 games of one another. Chris Owings on deck. 2-2 on John Ryan Murphy. Bullpen busy again. Phil Hughes, the right-hander, has been ready for a while now. The lefty is Robbie Erlin. Lays off a fastball away. Full count, 3-2. Runners will get an early lead here. Souza from second, Marte from first. Stammen went full on Marte and walked him. Now it's 3-2 on Murphy. There go the runners. That is a fair ball. Tough play for Villanueva. Throws off line. And the bases are loaded for CO.
Villanueva takes several extra steps before unloading that ball across the diamond. The throw pulls Hosmer way off the bag. Keeping the inning alive right here for Chris Owens.
Well, you have Lamb's bat on the bench. John Jay has come out in the on-deck circle. Owens is still out there. Here's Andy Green. He's going to take the ball from Stammen. D-backs have the bases full. Back after this. Two outs, they have the bases full. Chris Owens will be the hitter here from the Padre bullpen, the left-hander Robbie Erlin.
Well, you notice one thing, everybody that trots in from that Padres bullpen are big-time strike throwers. Robbie Erlin's only walked 5 guys in 48 1/3 to go along with the 41 strikeouts. He has surrendered 6 home runs.
Well, John Jay's in the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot is behind Owens. CO, the third baseman tonight, has been very aggressive up there. He's only seen a handful of pitches. He's 0 for 3. Twice he lined out hard to right on the first pitch of the at-bat against Lucchesi. Grounded out his last time up against Stammen. Bases full, 2 outs. Takes a fastball low, 1-0. CO tonight made just his second ever start at third base. He's got Souza at third, Marte at second, Murphy at first. Wild changeup from Merlin. 2 balls and no strikes. Fly ball right center field. Manuel Margot. D-backs leave them loaded. They get one more for Boxberger. 3-1 as we hit the ninth. Has knocked in 2 of them. So it's a 2-run lead for the closer Brad Boxberger. 20 for 24 in his save opportunities this year. He got save number 20 here Tuesday night against the Cardinals.
He'll be facing the 4, 5, 6 hitters in the Padres lineup. Hunter Renfroe, Christian Villanueva, and Manuel Margot. Ideally a 1, 2, 3. Let's get on out of here. D-backs need a nice, clean, quick game tonight.
Sure do. Even up this series at a game apiece. Robbie Ray and Zach Greinke on the mound tomorrow night and Sunday. Padres only 1 run. That was back in the 3rd inning on an RBI fielder's choice by Carlos Asuaje. The Padres have been held to 1 or fewer runs at a game 18 times. Only the Marlins have done that more often. Renfroe, Villanueva, Margot, 4, 5, and 6 due up in the San Diego ninth. Renfroe singled in the 2nd against Zach Godley. He has struck out twice. Change-ups low, 1-1. Renfroe is a guy who has struggled against right-hand pitching. He hit only about 200 versus righties last year. They don't want him to be just a platoon guy, so he's trying to work on this part of his game. Launches one way up in the air. Peralta has room.
Big first out there in the 9th inning. A dangerous hitter in Hunter Renfroe, as you mentioned. First pitch fastball fouled away up above the top of the zone. Then he nibbles around with a couple of change-ups off that outside corner. Comes back with a fastball in at 92 and gets a lazy fly ball to left. Our nationwide vision eye on the game.
Well, here's another dangerous hitter. Villanueva leads the Padres with 17 home runs, 0 for 3 tonight. Change-ups a strike, 0-1. Shift is on against Villanueva. Pretty much pulls the ball all the time. Fouls off a rare Boxberger slider, and he's ahead 0-2. Gracie and Jody standing by. D-backs live post-game show follows our ball game. He did not go, Manny Gonzalez. A ball and 2 strikes.
You saw John Ryan Murphy kind of rising up out of his crouch right there, giving that high target up and out over the plate, right where Brad Boxberger threw it. And usually after throwing a high 4-seam fastball, he comes right back with a changeup down. Fastball in.
Fought it off. It stays fair. Owings charges. 2 down. Manuel Margot, last man standing. Here's CO.
Low to high. That's what infield instructors teach with the glove. Start low and come up on the ball rather than come up with your glove high and try to stab down at the ball. Nice job that time by CO.
Margot, the center fielder, 0 for 3. Giants are winning. Rockies are winning. Dodgers are winning. Need a W here. 0-1.
Nothing wrong with that. A command control pitcher that basically just throws 2 pitches every now and then. Stand somebody up. Don't let them lean out over the plate and take that outside corner away from you.
One more time for Chris Owings. Ball game. Boxberger save number 21, and the D-backs even the series of the game apiece. What a big night for Zach Godley.
Boy, a lot to like from Zach Godley tonight. When the team needed him the most, he went out and pounded that strike zone with that cutter and sinker and curveball. Gave up only 4 hits in his 6 innings of work, and most importantly, only 1 walk.
Gracie and Jody are standing by. When we come back, it's D-backs live, the post-game show. Diamondbacks win tonight. They beat the Padres 3-1. Much more from Chase Field after this.